Back on the sports show with Woody and Les and everyone else, this is Mark Schlereth, NFL ESPN analyst and former Denver Bronco, of course. You saw the two draft picks they brought in on the offensive line, Garcia and Sombrero. You were, as Woody said, very critical of the Broncos' offensive line last year. They've got a now 39-year-old quarterback.
Right.
We still don't know who's going to start at right tackle. Tell me your impressions, what we're going to see on the Broncos' offensive line this year. Can they protect Peyton, and should Broncos fans be worried at all?
Yeah, can they protect him? Absolutely. There's going to be obviously going to be a lot of change, and I think that's a good thing. And most of all, I think system change is going to be a good thing. So, anytime you talk about protection, you're talking about not just an offensive line, but you're talking about a tight end as well, right? And a fullback. Well, you think about the Denver Broncos over the last couple of years, they had running backs that were questionable blockers. No, Sean Moreno was pretty damn good, but, Ball
the others not so much.
Yeah, right.
No fullback whatsoever.
Right. They didn't carry a fullback on the roster. Their tight end couldn't block his way out of a white paper sack.
Julius Thomas. Didn't even try.
No, he has no interest. I mean, he has no interest in that aspect of the game. So he's a very one-dimensional player. Why he's not here now? One of the things you've seen them get Casey. You've seen them get Owen Daniels. You've seen them draft another tight end from Ohio State who's a big-bodied guy.
Don't forget about Joe Don Duncan.
Okay.
I just said that because I like saying that.
Right. So that was the first time I've ever heard his name.
We could forget about Joe Don.
but the bottom line is it takes scheme. It takes good players, but it takes scheme, and it takes the play-action aspect of the game that's really, truly a threat, unlike what last year or the last couple of years was. So all those things help protection. So protection will be far better this year based on new players and a new scheme than it was last year. And it's incumbent upon coaches, in my mind, to really take the pressure off the guys up front so that you can have success. And Gary understands that. Rick Dennison understands that. They'll be far better this year just from an understanding of we're taking some pressure off our 39-year-old quarterback because, frankly, he's won one Super Bowl. And he won one Super Bowl in a time where they dominated, by the way, in that playoff stretch with the Indianapolis Colts running the ball. They beat up Kansas City doing it that way. Then they went and beat up New England doing it that way. And then Peyton Manning wasn't great in the Super Bowl, but you were playing against the Chicago Bears, and Rex Grossman was their quarterback. So it's hard to win when all you can do is throw the ball, and I believe you have to be able to dictate in the running game when you have to dictate in the running game. And that's one thing Gary Kubiak, Rick Dennison, those guys will have a system that says when we have to run it, we'll know how to run it. And that to me, in and of itself, gives Peyton Manning a much better shot come playoff time to actually chase a championship again.